All right, good. So let's get your questions in. We are going to talk again today about your immigration questions. Hi, everyone. Oh, look who's here. Hi. All right. So we are live again on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and as usual on TikTok, where we get the most engagement. So we only have a very limited amount of time today. So if you have your questions, please put them in the chat, and we are going to address as many as we can get within the period of time that we have, which is exactly 20 minutes. Now, put your question only once so we can answer as many as we can. I had an interesting question from someone today, and um, the question was, well, if my husband and I are getting divorced, okay, and he is here in the United States on an investor visa, what actually happens to me and our son? And that was a very interesting question, and it happens so often. And so I wish more people would ask that question, because more people need to know that if the principal investor or the principal visa holder um, doesn't want to stay married to you anymore, and they want to go home, or you are getting divorced and you no longer have a visa. So say your husband is here on an H-1B and you are getting divorced, you and your son actually have to leave. You no longer have a visa. So that is a problem. Okay. So seriously, talk to your lawyers about that. If you don't have a lawyer, you can give us a call. We'll advise you on those. You've been waiting Zainab says, I've been waiting 16 years for my brother's visa in Afghanistan. When will the bulletin board move? Here's the thing. I cannot tell you when the bulletin board will move, when the visa bulletin. So Zainab is talking about the visa bulletin, okay? So I can tell you that it just got updated, okay, for the month of May. And let's see if it moved, okay? It just got updated. So let's see. So we're talking brother. So that is the F4 visa category. And let's see if it moved. It usually doesn't move much every single month. Lately, it hasn't moved at all. So for the F4 category, okay, they are now processing applications with a priority date of April 2007. Okay. So you said you've been waiting 16 years plus. So we are looking in your case at about 2006, 2007. So we are looking at another 2 years, 2.5 years. And after that, the priority date becomes current. And once it becomes current, you can pay your visa fee, start the process at the National Visa Center, pay the affidavit of support fee. That process there alone takes about 5 to 6 months. And then you really are in line for an interview. And that's when there is a little bit more waiting. Now, visa wait time in Afghanistan, it's even longer than in other places. So in addition to the 2.5 years that you're waiting right now, even once it becomes current and you're waiting for that, you are looking at least another year, a year and a half at that period of time. Now, at that point, it could become a little bit faster or a little bit slower, depending on how much staffing they have at the consulate in Kabul. Okay. So, Zainab, I hope that was a good answer for you. I hope that's what you're looking for. Unfortunately, I have no control over that. All right, let's see what other questions we can answer today. I was just telling those who were here early, I only have a very short period of time today. Can I have visit with my friends? We want to visit together. Sure, you need to get the tourist visa, apply for the tourist visa, and you can. In most places right now, most consulates, if they are even processing tourist visas, the wait times for the tourist visas are very long, okay? And you need to qualify for the tourist visas. How about employment-based EB3 case? How about employment-based EB3 case? That's a very vague question. I don't understand what you're asking me. I'm on H-1B, and I have been on H-1B since December 2022. My mom is not doing well in my country. Okay. So what is your question? Do you want to know if you can travel? Yes, you can travel. If you're here on H-1B status, you still need to make an appointment for visa stamping in your country. So if you are from, say, India, you need to make an appointment for an H-1B stamping in one of the consulates in India, maybe Mumbai, maybe Delhi. Okay, make an appointment to make sure you are able to come back with the H-1B stamp. Okay, but you can visit your family, your mom back in your country. How long after card is being produced will I receive my card? Are you talking about the green card or the work permit? In most cases, after the card is produced, you are expected to receive your card in about 30 to 60 days. Okay. If you are not getting your card in 30 to 60 days, you should call USCIS and find out what's going on. I may have to go. Is it wise to go? Yes, it is. If you are on H-1B, you can go visit. H-1B is dual intent. You have no reason not to go, but I would not go until you at least have scheduled the visa stamping. That is the hardest thing to get these days. Okay, so I would make the appointment for the visa stamping first before you buy the ticket and go back to your country. How long does it take to get an interview in Juarez? Hi, Jorge. It really depends on the type of visa, kind of visa, when did you apply, and the category, okay? Juarez, it's notoriously slow, notoriously slow. Paid leave. You can take paid leave if your employer will allow you to take paid leave. Joint accounts, is there a certain amount of money should be in there? Joint accounts to prove the good faith of the marriage, to show that the marriage is real. It's not about the amount of money that it's in there. It's about showing that you share, you and your husband share financial responsibility. So what does that mean? It means you both have debit accounts to the same account. You're using those debit cards at the same grocery stores, around the same house. You are using to pay joint bills, meaning your utilities are in the same account, in the same names, both of your names. It's not about the money that needs to be in there. Make sure that your direct deposits from your jobs are going to that joint accounts. So the joint accounts is not the money that needs to be in there. Can you talk about the retrogression? Retrogression or progression of the visas on the visa bulletin happens every month. So every single month, the visa bulletin people, okay, are looking at the visa bulletin, and they are making decisions based on need. They have a certain criteria they have to look at: need, staffing, visa categories. There are also statutory limits that must be met each single year, and statutory numbers that must be met. And based on that, they are moving the visa numbers up and down by category every single month. For example, F2A, F2As have been current for the past 2 to 3 years. Now, all of a sudden, as of this month, April 1st, they are no longer current. So as of right now, F2A, for example, they just moved back to September 2020. That's a huge retrogression. So up until now, spouses of permanent residents, if they were here in the United States, in valid status, they could have petitioned for adjustment of status. That's no longer the case. So that creates serious issues for those who are out of status in the United States. So what do we do now? So now we have to look at other options, perhaps consular processing. But as we just discussed about the retrogression, progression, and so on, now we are talking about going back to the consulate, and those are significant delays. And some people just choose to wait until their spouse becomes a citizen because actually that may be faster. So yeah, retrogression is a serious issue. That moves every single month, by the way, and it depends by category. There is no way to tell. No way to tell. Nobody has a crystal ball, okay? Nobody does that. Sometimes we do get certain training sessions, the immigration attorneys, we do get some trainings and we get some advance notice, not a lot, a couple of days, as to this is the way it's going to move or this is not the way it's going to move. So we don't know what to expect ahead of time. And we can only know based on our experience what we should be seeing or what we should be seeing. And it usually goes by the fiscal year. Fiscal year with immigration ends at the end of September. New fiscal year starts in October. So generally towards the end of the year, there is more movement than beginning of the year. Okay, so we are talking summer. It's usually the biggest movement. Okay, how long N400 takes now? Well, it depends. N400 goes by the physical location of the office where you are located. So where we are in Florida, N400 actually takes only a couple of months right now, 2 to 6 months. In other places, takes a little bit longer. I don't know where you are located. Okay, I'm a US citizen. My son's over 21. Okay, I-130 is approved. How long is the waiting? So your son is over 21, I'm assuming unmarried. I-130 is approved. How long is the waiting? So if your son, he's an unmarried son of US citizen, he's in the F1 category, okay? It depends on when you filed. Right now, the government is processing applications with a priority date of December 2014. Okay, so we are looking at 9 years. Now, did you work in big law? No, I did not, and I would not want to work in big law. You have valid visa stamping until 2025. So that's fantastic. You have valid visa stamping. Go visit your mom, okay? I hope she's good. How can I clear red flag of misrepresentation at USCIS? It depends on the flag of misrepresentation. If you have that, you probably need a waiver. It depends on your status. You need one waiver or two waivers. Do you need one for misrepresentation for TPS? Do you need a waiver for adjustment of status? If you need for adjustment of status, you may need one or two. If you need for TPS, you need one. Just because you get one for TPS doesn't mean it's valid for adjustment of status. You may need two for those. And if you need to travel abroad for the consular processing, you may actually need a third one. All right, let's see. I have an invitation to come to the US. How do I start processing it, please? The invitation means nothing. You have to actually apply for the visa, the tourist visa to come to the United States, and the process is available online. You have to show the consular officer after you apply for the visa that you have every intent to go back to to your home country. And how do you prove that? You prove that by showing that you have personal, professional, and financial ties back home. And that it's more like by showing those ties, it's more likely that you are going to return to your home country than staying in the United States. Because you apply for a school visa and they told me they have concerns for misrepresentation at US. I do not know what concerns they have. I would have to see the misrepresentation. I would have to see the section of the law that they denied your school visa for. What section of the law do they decline you on? 212 section what? Okay. How fast is EB1A I-485? The 485 depends on your local office, so it really depends on where you are located. Sometimes they process those without an interview. If you're lucky enough to have that processed without an interview, so I would say under 6 months. If not, it really depends on your local office. Where we are in Florida, those are anywhere under 14 months. My I-130 is approved without an interview in US, but I-485 is still pending for from 2 months ago. Why is one approved and one is pending? Did not file them at the same time? Did you file them at the same time? Something doesn't make sense. Usually when they approve one, they also approve the other. Did you submit a medical at the same time as your 485? Did they send you a request for evidence? Did you log on onto your online account and see if there is a request for evidence? Something is pending. They sent you a request and you didn't send it in. How long will it take to get green card after fingerprinting as a refugee status? I honestly do not know the answer to that. Sorry, I really don't know that answer. Do you work with immigration detention? No, I do not do detention cases. After 7 months, my I-130 still has not been approved after actively reviewed by USCIS. Actively reviewed by USCIS means nothing. Absolutely nothing. It just means it got moved from this shelf to this shelf. Means absolutely nothing. How long after DS-260 to get an interview with a 21-year-old son as petitioner? It depends on, okay, so you filled out the DS-260, okay? Your son petitioned for you, so you are the parent. After you did the DS-260, you had to also fill out, you also had to pay the 2 fees, okay? And the affidavit of support, and then you had to submit a bunch of documents. You are not even in line for an interview until you get the email that says you are now documentarily qualified. So you need to make sure you log on to that website, the SEAC website, and you are documentarily qualified. That's what needs to happen, okay? If I come to US on B1, B2 and extend my visit, yeah, what about it? Can an 18-year-old person be eligible for SIJ? It depends on where in the United States. In some states, 18 years of age is the cutoff. In other states, it's 21. Can immigrants marry to a green card holder? It depends on when they can marry green card. No, anybody can marry anyone. If you are talking about getting married and obtaining a permanent residency, and if you are doing that just for papers, that is marriage fraud that you cannot do and you shouldn't do because that's marriage fraud. Now, if you are getting married and you're getting married anyway, it doesn't matter what their status is. Can you apply after that to obtain a permanent residency based on them being a green card holder? That depends on your entry in the United States. It depends on how you entered, what is your current status, how long you've been undocumented, do you have a removal order? It really, really, really depends on a lot of those things. So what you want to do is call an experienced immigration attorney and discuss your options before you do anything. Don't take any steps until you discuss your options with an immigration attorney, okay? Guys, if you need something that is very specific, discuss it with an immigration attorney before you take steps, okay? Our number is 954-466-0070. We help people no matter where you are located in the United States. We have clients all over the United States, okay? I just talked to somebody yesterday from Montana. Today I talked to somebody in Connecticut, okay? So it doesn't really matter, okay? My NVC case is approved since November last year, but still waiting for the interview. Okay, so when you say your NVC case is approved, you mean documentarily qualified, I assume. If that's the case, you're really waiting for the consulate to tell NVC, I just need the next batch of people to be scheduled for an interview at my consulate. Some consulates every month, and I go through this on every single one of my lives, okay? The consulate tells NVC, for the month of June, say for example on April 30th, say the consulate in Bogota would tell NVC, hey, for the month of June, not for the month of May, because that's already booked. For the month of June, you can schedule 30 appointments. For the month, okay? The consulate in Manila might say for the month of June, you can schedule 300 appointments. And then NVC goes and says, the next 30 people online in Bogota and the next 300 in Manila will get scheduled. The rest of them just wait until the next month. And the next month, the same thing happens. You wait until your turn comes. Do you know anything about VAWA cases? Yes, I do VAWA cases every single day. Not everyone qualifies, but yes. If you are married to a US citizen or a permanent resident, or in some cases, you are the parent of a US citizen or a permanent resident child, okay? And they are abusive to you, or, they don't treat you right the way they should. But not like just disagreements. It has to rise to a certain level or exceptional and extreme abuse, and it doesn't have to be physical. It could be extreme emotional abuse, psychological. Uh, you get the idea. Then you may be eligible for permanent residency based on that. This is not something that somebody can determine in such a forum right now. You would need to schedule a consultation so we can go over those facts, okay? Give us a call, 954-466-0070, and we can determine if you are indeed a good candidate for that, all right? But yes, we do those cases all day long. US citizen, I filed my petition for my husband for a year. Later, nothing. What can I do to push? I do not know. In most cases, it's a matter of filling out the proper petition the right way the first time. In other cases, so it might be that you just need to fix certain things. In other cases, maybe you have a reason to expedite the application. Sometimes there is nothing you can do. We'll be more than happy to review your application, obviously not for free. We'll be more than happy to review your application and see if we can help you with that. If you do have an immigration attorney, I suggest you talk to them and see what your options are, okay? Sometimes you have options, sometimes you don't. Okay, how long does it take to get green card through child once USCIS? I don't know, because the question's not finished. Can I extend my visit or take up F1? Yes, you can do both, but I don't know based on what basis or anything. That's very general. My daughter filed for us. She's is under 21-year-old daughter when he was an LPR. Now he's a citizen. Okay. My daughter filed for us is under 21-year-old daughter when he was an LPR. Now he is citizen. How long after she has to wait to get her green card or social? I don't understand the question. How can somebody file for you after under the age of 21? Because generally you cannot file. You can only file for a spouse if you are under the age of 21. So I need to understand more. Okay, answer me more. VAWA still waiting since September 2020. World of Smoke. Yeah, you need to wait a lot more. VAWA takes a long time. VAWA right now takes about 4 years. Okay. Ditch, I filed 485, I-130 together. I haven't submitted my medical yet because I didn't receive the RFE. Make sure you didn't get an RFE. That's what's holding up your 485, most possibly. It doesn't matter where I live, somebody's asking, because we help people everywhere in the United States. I had withholding since 2009. What if my son wants to file for me? You may have options, but it's risky. You cannot do this on your own with a withholding. You're never eligible for adjustment of status unless you reopen your immigration case. And that's risky because you could get deported. So it's a matter of, do you want to tolerate your risk or be on work permit for the rest of your life? If you want to tolerate your risk, give us a call and we can see if we can help you, okay? I do not handle asylum cases. C1D, mandatory to go back home if my son fixed my paper. C1D, most of the time, yes. Not 100% of the time, but yes. Green card holder person, how long can they stay out of the country? Less than 6 months at a time. If you stay longer than 6 months at a time, it's an issue. It becomes an issue. And if you stay longer than 1 year, you could lose your residency. You need to maintain your residency, job, taxes, documents, all that while you are outside the United States. What's the wait time for F2A spouse with priority date on October 2022? So F2A spouse with priority date of October 2022, you are looking at minimum 2 years. Okay, but that doesn't mean that once you get citizenship, you can't move them to immediate relative. Okay. What do you need to file for citizenship? Eligibility first, and then you need to prove that you're current on taxes, you're selected, you're eligible, you filed, you registered for selective service, you did not commit a crime, you need to show good moral character, you can speak and write English, and so on. My wife makes 22,000 last year. She's gonna make 34,000. Do I still need co-sponsor? Yes, you did. 22 is not sufficient even without dependents. Hi, ma'am. My husband waiting for interview in Pakistan NVC. Too long. Can we transfer case to another NVC? There is only one NVC, just one. There is no other option, and you cannot go to another location. No. Does USCIS provide tracking number for EAD card? No, they don't. Okay. How long does it take a citizen to file for his daughter in America? He already started as LPR. It depends. You asked me a different question earlier, so I'm confused as to your status at this point. All right, so it seems I'm almost caught up to date. So since I do have another commitment right after this, I am going to end this for now, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.